ready? Everybody ready? Hey, Journey to Truth podcast is brought to you by Omnia Radiation Balancer. If you have listened to our podcast with Tim Sanders, he has created a solution. He has come up with a solution to negate the threat to our bodies from the microwave waves, the EMF waves that we're bombarded with every day. So he has come up with a patch that is basically Nikola Tesla technology. He explains how he goes into it deep on the podcast, but you go to the website and read about it too. It's a patch you put on your phone, and it basically dissipates all the harmful radiation waves coming in. It creates a field around our body. And he's not just developing that, they're developing other technology that should be coming out soon. I don't know if we're at liberty to talk about it yet, but it's really awesome stuff. And if you're interested in purchasing, this is what they look like. It's a little patch you stick on the back of your phone. And you just go to the website. The link is below. And check it all out there. So make sure you go do that. Check it out. Save yourself from all this harmful shit that we're bombarded with every day. Tonight we have on Anna Multanen from Finland. She is a animal communicator, a holistic healer, a Reiki healer. She just recently wrote a book called Charlie and the Love Factory, which I just got in the mail yesterday. So I'm super excited to read this, and we'll let you explain more about it. I believe it's basically a story about how your dog basically saved your life or transformed your life, and you learn how to communicate with your dog. We'll let you tell a little more about that. So thank you for coming on. It's great to have you.
Oh, thank you guys. It's so nice to be on. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sorry, I just we're gonna have to edit this. I'm sorry. I've been so we have literally been running the whole time. So anyway, do you just want to go ahead and tell us about this book, and we'll get started with that? And since I know it just came out in English, correct? Did it come out before?
Yeah, I actually, it came out in Finnish in 2017, and I have a similar setup that I have a printed book and ebook in Finnish. And then I already had the idea that I want to do it also in English. I have been a professional translator also, and then I thought, okay, maybe I can translate it myself. And so I did that, but it took a little bit of time. And now it was like a spurt to get it ready for Christmas, and now I did it, and so I'm really happy. Yeah, wow, and now it's available as a printed book and ebook in English also.
So you translated all this yourself?
Yeah, I had someone proofread it for me because I wasn't 100% sure if it's like it would be written by an English speaking person. So I had someone who is British. He agreed to proofread it for me, and it really made it a lot better. And now I think it's 100% like correct, and it's really great. Yeah.
Awesome. Definitely looking forward to reading it.
Same.
This is, I just pick up on a vibe from it when I got it in the mail. Definitely you can tell the love that was poured into it.
Yeah. It was really my life's work, I would say. Yeah.
That's amazing. Nice. So tell us about how did you discover that you could communicate with animals? That's fascinating to me. I know I've read about it before, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, it was kind of, if you believe in accidents, I don't believe in coincidences or accidents. It's like divine intervention, I think. But yeah, a friend of mine wanted to go to an animal communication class, and I actually hadn't heard about it. And I was just like, okay, something to do with animals. Okay, I'll come. And then it ended up being that she couldn't actually attend, and then I went on my own. And there's this famous animal communicator in Finland called Maikku Kostiainen, and she's also traveling around the world and communicating with animals and doing all kinds of things. And then she had this class, and I went, and yeah, it was really strange because we did some exercises there, and then I was like all the time thinking that this is crazy, this is nuts, like like I don't know if I believe this, like this is so nuts. And but then when we did the exercises, and then everyone got a picture of an animal, and then you just started writing down what you get from the animal. And then I got like a Malamute or Husky type dog, and I was writing down what I got, and I was getting that this dog would like to try someday to be like a sled dog, or be in front
Wow.
of a sled or something like that. And I thought, this is strange because this is like a husky, and I thought they already are like sled dogs. And but then when I told the owner, then she said, yeah, he's never been in front of a sleigh or anything. And so it was like correct, and I was really surprised. And then I started to read about it more and find out more, and then just training and training and training, doing it. And then I always had like animals I never met and people I never knew or met, and I just had the picture of the animal and then started writing about it. And then I just got the confirmations from the owners that it's all true what I'm saying. And so at some point, like the first times when I did it, it was always like I was thinking, I'm just crazy. Am I not crazy, right? But then when I got stranger and stranger confirmations from the owners, then I kind of knew, okay, I cannot imagine this anymore. Like this is real. Like this is actually real. And then I got more and more confident doing it. And now I'm quite experienced. I have done it for many years and gotten a lot of great feedback from my clients. And
Wow, that's amazing. It almost reminds me of remote viewing, the technique that
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
uses for remote viewing. I've
yeah, it's kind of the same, that you just kind of go into a meditative state and quiet your own thoughts, and then you can kind of connect to the animal if you have a picture, or you don't actually need a picture, but it helps you kind of focus. And then you just kind of connect from the heart center, so you don't so much use your brain, but you use your heart. And then you just start receiving what the animal is saying, or maybe not saying, but they use like well, some animals do use language, like they know words and they can send you words and sentences and things like that. But some animals actually use more pictures, that they send you pictures, or like a little video or something that's happening, or then they can send you like feelings or impressions, or if they have like a pain, they can send you this pain or show it where it is in their body or something like that.
yeah, I was
So
gonna.
there's a lot of things happening at the same time. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask you as far as pain. That has to be so amazing to be able to communicate and figure out, because we don't know really what our pets are experiencing. They could be living with something we never realize, you know.
Yeah, I've had quite amazing success. Like it's called body scanning, and I found out about it in a book about animal communication, and they were kind of introducing this technique of body scanning, that you kind of like go inside the body of the animal, and you can do it, you can make yourself like a tiny little human, or a tiny like speck of light or something, and then you just go in from the head, like from the forehead. You just picture a small door, you go inside, and then you are inside the animal's body. And then you just start going around it, like going around. I usually start from the head and go to the ears and go to the eyes and the mouth and look at the teeth, and then I just go around the body and all the organs and muscles and joints and skin and everything, and then I just kind of feel how it's feeling, and then I can also like go into the animal's body and feel how the animal is moving and try different positions, like try to jump or try to sit down or lay down or go on the sofa or something, and then I can feel if there's something going on. And usually I get impressions when there's something in an organ or something, or if there's something in the teeth or something like that. And it's been amazing, really, because a lot of times if people don't know what's wrong with their pet, it's kind of expensive to go to a vet and try to start to take tests. It costs a lot of money. And so it's really great if you have an animal communicator, and they can kind of do the body scan beforehand and tell you where the problem might be. Of course, I'm not a vet and I cannot diagnose anything, so I never say like your dog has cancer or anything like that. But I can tell them maybe you should like focus on this area of the body and do this and these kind of tests. And then the owner can go to a vet or go to physical therapy or something, and then they can kind of find out more about it. And I actually work with a physical therapist who does also osteopathy for dogs, and she has referred to me some cases that are difficult for her to treat because she doesn't know what's wrong or what she should do. And then she just asks me if I can do a body scan, if the owner agrees, and then I just look at the body, and then I tell her, well, you should maybe consider this area, that this is the problem, and then she treats it, and then she's had success. So
Wow.
it's quite amazing, yeah, really.
So
Like
can you?
one time she had a dog, and he had like a problem in his, I think his legs. I don't remember where it was exactly, but in the back in the rear end. And she was treating the leg, and it never got any better. And then she asked me if I can find out what she should be focusing on, because it didn't give any results, the treatment. And when I communicated and did the body scan, I found out that there was something in the chin, that I was focusing on the chin. And I told her like I get the feeling about the chin that you should maybe focus there. And then the next time the dog came to her, she was like manipulating the chin and treating the chin, and then the leg got better. So it was quite unbelievable.
Wow.
But yeah.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
that's amazing. That reminds me of something. So my mom had passed away, and
Mm-hmm.
my cousin, she was having this terrible pain. I don't remember if it was her back. I think it was back pain, or I don't remember what it was. Um, but she was going through terrible pain. She was seeing doctors, and they were trying to treat the back. They were trying to treat the back. Blah blah blah. And she went and saw a medium, and through the medium, my mother told her that the birth control she was using was causing the back pain, and she had this. It was something that she stuck in her arm. It was, I forget what it was. So she removed that purely because of what she got through the session, and her back pain stopped. So
Mm.
it's very similar situation. You never relate the pain to to another part of the body. Sometimes you just don't think about doing that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you able to do this? Like, so you're in Finland. Could you
Mm-hmm.
do this remotely to say my dog, or do you?
Yeah. It doesn't matter where the dog is physically, because you just connect on the heart level. And so, because we are all connected, I kind of talk about that we are like in a grid, and you just it's like a radio receiver or television. You just kind of focus on the one signal coming, because all the signals are coming all the time. but we are not like open to everything. But at the moment I just focus my energy on the one signal coming, and then I can get the reading. It doesn't matter where the dog is. Or and also I do communications with animals who have passed on, so it doesn't matter if it's alive or dead or anything like that.
It's kind of the same rules that apply, if you want to call them rules, for Reiki or any energy healing, you remote viewing. It doesn't matter the distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's so interesting to me. The deceased pets, that you can communicate with them. I find that fascinating. I just
Hmm.
find it fascinating.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing actually, communicating with deceased animals, because it's just so amazing what they can tell you about the afterlife. It's amazing. like I'm really excited to die. like like really, like I have no fear of death anymore. And just every day, because I get to do it almost every day, like communicating with someone who's dead. And it's just like the places they have and the things they can do, and it's just, the love is amazing, and they are so full of love and forgiveness, and they are guiding their humans, and they are there for them, and they are just like it's so amazing. I cannot tell you enough how amazing it is. So really excited to die, guys.
Man, well,
Wow.
I honestly, I think a lot of us going through this awakening, once you understand that aspect of life and what happens when we die, and there is some, we live forever essentially. Uh,
Mm,
that fear does dissipate. It goes away, and it's not so bad.
yeah.
We're fulfilling a mission here, and you just have to kind of trust that whatever happens is meant to happen. However you may uh, pass.
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
it's
exactly,
it's just a
exactly. Yeah.
transition, and it is exciting because what lies beyond,
Yeah, it's so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had a pet that's like angry with their owner? Do you get that kind of message?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, because one of the reasons people contact animal communicators is that they have a problem with their pets. That's the most common reason. And yeah, there can be a lot of issues with cats, especially when they are like pooping on your pillow or something like that. So
Oh man, man, you're tapping into a whole new realm here. Uh,
yeah.
so many people I can think of who would love to talk to you, and
Yeah.
I'm curious what my dogs have to say about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people are kind of apprehensive because they might have a fear that they're if the dog can speak well, if he tells he doesn't love me, or I'm not a good owner, or he doesn't like his life with me, or something like that. So some people are a bit apprehensive actually.
Yeah, or who knows? Yeah, they might be
Oh
up.
yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, they might be up to no good, and they don't want the dog ratting them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, or that.
There's a phrase: if walls could talk to spill the lies, we'd see the world through devil's eyes.
Yeah.
Kind of, it's kind of like the fly on the wall type of thing. Your dog sees everything you do, or your pet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, and the animals are kind of like, or the animals we live with, like dogs and cats and pets actually, they are here to kind of mm, mirror us in a way, especially dogs. And so when I get a reading of the animal, I'm actually getting a reading a lot about the owner actually, so that they can get a message about how to be like better humans actually. So it's often that the animal has some kind of message for the owner of how they should change themselves, or how they should change their own like emotions or behaviors or something like that. So it's actually profound for the owners to get the message from their own pets. that this is what you need to do in your life. like
Yeah.
you need to change like this and this and this. So it's actually really profound for people to
Wow.
kind of get this from their pet.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to have to let people know how to contact you at the end of this, because I'm sure you're going to be getting some calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
One of them will definitely be me.
Great.
I can just
Start talking to your dogs.
yeah, no, yeah, I'm not
Maya
scared.
and Shadow.
I know for a fact my one Maya, my one dog, she came into my life to teach me unconditional love. Like I just know it. I've gotten the message. I have an amazing relationship with my dogs, and I know that that's the message. That's what she's here to teach me, is that aspect of unconditional love, which a lot of the world doesn't truly understand, and I didn't either. It's a process we all work on,
Yeah.
because
And that's the message that they mostly have for us, because animals they are capable of such love that we are not capable of. It's just that simple. That people are somehow, we are not capable of that. Like you have to be a saint or something to be able to do that. But animals do it naturally, and they are kind of here to teach us to love ourselves and kind of be who we are, and not care about what other people say and think, and be kind of kinder to us, and yeah, things like this. Yeah. Like Charlie did to me. So that's kind of what my book is all about. So this message.
yeah. Did you want to go into that at all, or do you want to save it for
Yeah,
the
we can
reading?
talk about it. Yeah, we can talk about it. I can maybe I can go over a little bit my life story.
Yeah.
So I'm now 41 years old, and my childhood wasn't very happy. And well, when I was a teenager, I was already like in survival mode. I was only surviving day to day and kind of relying heavily on myself. So I didn't have anyone like giving me support or anything like that. And our family had always had some dogs, and mostly Labradors and retrievers, and I was always like having this thought in my mind that I want my own dog when I'm like grown up and living on my own, and well, then I got a dog when I was like living on my own, and yeah, but it didn't work out so well. This dog was like a nightmare.
Oh.
And he was a yellow lab, and I got him as a puppy, and from the moment I got him, it was like a nightmare. That he was so hyperactive, and so like he wasn't aggressive, but he was just excited, like so excited. And he was like using his teeth a lot, and he was grabbing like onto my biceps or my hair, pulling it or with his teeth or on my jacket or something. And he had a lot of strength and stamina and I didn't have it. And I tried like everything, like I went to trainers, I went to training camps, I tried like exercising him like crazy and doing things like all kinds of things that I knew and that other people told me to do, and I like tried everything, and I was just at my wits end, and it was horrible for me. And at the same time I was going through my memories, that I started to get memories from my childhood, that I was actually molested and raped when I was 11 years old. And for me it just it brought me so much shame as a person. I thought that I'm not worth anything, like I'm not worth love or anything like that. I don't deserve anything good. And if people find out what a shit person I am, then they are just going to abandon me. And that was my line of thinking and feeling. And then I was just had to deal with the dog and had to deal with my problems, and it was just all, all coming together at the same time, and it was just really, really difficult. And the walks with the dog, they were just like I was walking the dog, crying, and the dog was just on my bicep, like biting me the whole time. And I just tried to like get on with the dog, and it was so horrible. And I tried a lot of things and nothing worked. Like I didn't have any kind of connection with the dog. I could not get him to calm down. And I was like, well, I didn't want to give him up. Like that's not me. If I take an animal, I am like not giving it up. But I will tell you that if I was a different kind of person, I would have given him up when he was 6 months. It was so hard. But then I got introduced to the dog whisperer. I read some books of the dog whisperer, Caesar, and I saw some videos, and then I was kind of interested because he told he had this saying that you don't get the dog you want, but you get the dog you need. And then that kind of stuck in my head, and I started to implement a lot of his techniques. Like I understood that it's unfair because I had this expectation that this puppy would be there for me, that it would be like for me, because I had no one else. I didn't have any people, and I couldn't trust anyone. I had major trust issues, and I was kind of thinking that the dog would be there for me, to love me, and would be someone to take care of me. And it was kind of selfish from me to think that. And then I started to understand that it's actually the other way around, that I have to be the pack leader, I have to be the strong one, I have to guide this dog, this puppy. And it's actually wrong of me to expect that from a dog. And so I kind of changed my thinking on that. And then I started to learn about these holistic healing modalities for dogs. My family had always used homeopathy when I was younger. I always used that as a child, and it helped me a lot. And we had an old lab when I was growing up, and he lived like 4 years more with homeopathy than he would have with only like normal veterinary treatment.
Nice.
And so I already knew that this is something that really works. And so I started to learn about, like, there was a course for becoming a holistic healer for animals. And I attended the class, and it was really interesting. And I learned a lot of new things, like about raw feeding and things like that. And then I started to implement on my dog. And I changed his diet. He had been eating some kibble and some minced meat, and then I started to feed him only raw meat and bones. And something happened because his ear got like red and swollen, and it started to excrete, and he was just miserable. And there was something happening, and they have been talking about this detoxifying reaction that it can happen if you change the diet. And so I thought, okay, this must be it. And then I just stuck with it. And it took 2 weeks. And by the end of the 2 weeks, after I changed the food, the dog was like sitting there and looking at me and asking me, what do I do now? And I was like amazed, because I couldn't believe it, because I had no contact with it before, like nothing. It was like running around the room, just jumping on people, jumping, like taking, like going so fast it ran on the walls, actually, because it didn't touch the floor. It was so just like running around like crazy.
Yeah.
And then after the 2 weeks, it magically, like, he just started listening to me. and I could actually train him and do stuff with him, and it was amazing. And so I started to do this for other people's animals, and started to get really good results. Like the most of the issues that they have are like allergies and bowel disorders and things like that, and it really helps. And so, but yeah, but my kind of feelings toward myself weren't as easy to solve, because I was still having this shame and this guilt and all of these negative feelings. And I had met my husband like a year before I got the dog, and we had been together for a year when I got Charlie. And I was kind of dreaming about getting married and like having a relationship and all those things, but I couldn't let myself have it, because I thought, I'm such a bad person that I don't deserve this. Like my husband is going to leave me at any point. Like he could leave right now. Like I don't know. Like I cannot make any plans like getting married or something. Like he's not going to marry me. And when I was dealing with Charlie's issues, then I think that somehow helped me get over the shame, because I felt also really ashamed about the dog, because the dog was so like a devil. And but I had to go out with the dog. I couldn't stay inside. So I couldn't kind of block myself off from the rest of the world. I had to go outside every day, like 3 times a day. I had to walk the dog. And so I went out and I felt this shame. And then it kind of came out, because I think it was the main thing when you have shame and when you feel bad about yourself, is just feeling those feelings and feeling them with other people noticing. So if you just close yourself off and just stay home, then it never goes away. You never get that experience that it's easier. And so when I had to go out and kind of face the world and still feeling like shit, but then it kind of got easier and easier. And then at some point, Charlie started to behave really strange, and he started to get ill, like his head would shrink. And we were kind of wondering about it, and then we went to an osteopath, and she actually told me that this is some kind of strange disease that actually has a name. And I was like, okay, we have to go to a vet and just find out about it. But it had been happening like slowly and gradually. Like he lost all his muscles in his head. He only had like the skull and the skin on the skull. It looked like really eerie. And we've the vet kind of said to us that, okay, there's not much we can do. Like it's already happened and we don't get the muscles back, so there's actually nothing to do, because he is not in pain clearly, and he could still eat bones and things like that, so there wasn't any problem with that. But I was really afraid of losing him, that he is going to die, and it was really hard for me. And then something strange happened, because I had already been to the animal communication class and I already knew about that. And then one friend who is actually a masseuse for dogs, she came to visit me. And Charlie was always really excited about people coming over, and he just like jump on them and pester them, like never giving up. And he came to the when we were on the hallway, he came there and he was really excited, and we were just talking, and then suddenly he just lay on the ground, like flat on the ground. And then he went in the other room. And I was like, this is really strange. Like he never does this when people are coming. Like he never goes away on his own. And then we were just talking with my friend, and then she left. And that evening she sent me a message, and she said, I have to tell you something, because this has been bothering me. That when I was at your place, I heard a noise in my head, and the voice said, my face is itching, please tell Anna. And
Wow.
then I was just like, she said that she was like taken aback, and she was just thinking to herself like, no, I'm not going to tell her that, like no, I'm just going crazy or something. And then the dog just like went flat and went away. And so he was trying to tell her something to tell me, but because she rejected him, he felt really bad and he just went away. Like he felt really hurt and rejected. And so then I asked my friend, okay, can you do it again? Like, can you contact him and can you like ask him what he wants to tell me? And she did it, and then I got the message from her. And actually it was something that I have been thinking to myself, that this is the message that he has for me, but I was too afraid to kind of face it. I'm getting emotional, but yeah, the thing he wanted me to do was that he wanted me to know that he loves me unconditionally, and that I have to accept this. I have to accept his love, and he doesn't take no for an answer. And for me it was always like I thought, okay, I don't actually deserve this kind of love from anyone. Like I couldn't take it from my husband, I couldn't take it from any therapist or anyone, like anyone ever. And so I didn't take it from Charlie, because I only wanted to love him. I didn't want him to love me back. And so he kind of forced me, because he was emaciating himself, like if you don't accept my love, I'm going to die, I'm going to emaciate myself. And so it was a really hard thing for me. It kind of tore me apart inside, but I understood that I have to let him love me if I want him to live. So it was really hard for me, but I accepted it in the end. It took a long time. And then after I did it, after I could accept it, then I was able to start to plan a wedding with my husband. And it's actually, we've been married for 4 years now. We've been together for 14 years. So we were together for 10 years before we got married. And my husband had asked me to marry him 5 times. And I always told him, you are not seriously, you don't want to marry me. I don't believe you. And he always asked me again and again. And then on the 5th time, I was like, okay, I believe you. But it was really hard for me to believe it. And so Charlie was at the wedding ceremony with us, and he was our ring bearer. And then after the wedding, it was like a couple of months, and then he passed on. So I think it really was his life's work to get me in a loving relationship, and kind of see it through, that I actually give this to myself, like yeah. And then he passed on, and that's kind of the story of what he did to me. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible that what an animal can do, what a pet can do. I think it's just how many people are missing the message. You know, people, dog owners, pet owners, cat owners, whatever. You know, they just. I don't even think some people realize you can communicate with animals. You know, people just see it as, they see this separation. They don't actually see it as somebody you can actually talk to.
Like, oh, they're just an animal, but they're a fully conscious being, and emotions just like us, and just because they can't speak, but like you said, you can actually communicate with them telepathically, or they can send you messages and stuff. Tap into that. So
yeah, that's so cool. I think that's a beautiful story. I'm definitely interested to learn.
Like I was seriously like tearing up there.
Oh.
Well, I think so many people can relate. I think if people take the time to listen to this or read the book, and the right people will be drawn to it.
Yeah, I think so.
I believe that so people are going to relate, and because we all love our pets. But now there's a new aspect that you're bringing to the table that can change somebody's life. That's amazing. And it makes me wonder, do you receive messages from wild animals for people, or is it only pets?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I've tried it myself sometimes, and I've tried communicating with dolphins and with birds and snake one time, and it's but it's different because they are not so in tune with people, like they don't have the connection that our pets have to us. Like our pets are like there all the time, so of course they want to talk to us, but wild animals are a bit different. But you can have a conversation like with the snake or even with the spider or something if you want. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
And you can actually, if you want to like connect on a deeper level with a certain animal, you can actually connect to the whole species. Like you can connect to the species of a dog or species of a deer or species of a whale or something. And you can get the kind of connect on a more general level as a human and see what this species has to tell humanity. And so this is actually something that you can also do.
Wow. So man, I just have so many questions.
Fire away.
If you have like, let's just say like, okay, somebody does like every day, like, yeah, I see this deer every day, or I see a hawk or this something every single day. They can't, I understand animals have messages. You can even just Google it and look up what the meaning of the significance of seeing a hawk every day means. I'm just curious if there's a specific animal you keep seeing, if you could tap into that.
Yeah.
And get that message. Yeah.
No.
One time I went to a park near me that there's deer everywhere. They're not allowed to hunt on this land. It's a national park, so it's like a deer sanctuary. They're pretty comfortable with people, and I just went and sat down and just observed them. I don't know how far away I was, and I was just observing them for quite some time. And I was kind of like scooting a little closer, seeing how close I can get, but being real subtle. And the next thing I know, the deer pops up. She was bedded down. She pops up and starts walking straight towards me. And my first initial reaction was like almost to like run, I was like, oh crap. But then I said, no, this is a good thing. I just let everything, all the fear melt away. And I sat there and let her walk right up to me. And she came up to me and started licking my toe, my big toe.
Wow.
A wild deer. And then she just, she hung out in front of me and was just eating grass right in front of me. I could have reached out and pet her if I wanted to. I have pictures of it because I had my phone out, so I was taking pictures of her licking my toe and stuff. It's amazing what you can do and how close you can get with animals if you have the right mindset, and they can sense that. They can sense that in people.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
What a story. Yeah, there's a documentary actually. I can give a recommendation. It's about this South African animal communicator who's also called Anna. Her name is Anna Breitenbach, and there's a documentary about her. It's actually called like Animal Communicator or something like that, and it's just unbelievable. Like she goes someplace and all the animals come to her. Like if she goes in a stream or river, all the fish come to her. If she goes like somewhere, all the birds come to her, and it's like it's unbelievable to watch. It's so amazing. Like she has this connection, and she goes into a pack of wild like some, what are they? They are like baboons or something, like these large monkey type animals that are actually dangerous to people. So she goes into this pack and just interacts with them, and it's so amazing. You have to watch it if you can find it somewhere.
Yeah, if you could think of the name, we'll even put the link in the description.
Yeah, I can write it down so I remember.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely want to see that.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remember the exact term. So you said that you were a consultant on hypnobirthing and childbirth educator, as far as expert of survivor of childhood sex abuse help and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you wanted to go into that. What hypnobirthing? What I'm sorry if anybody listening knows it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so I'm a doula, so I can explain what that is. That is a person who is by your side during pregnancy and during childbirth, and then also beyond, and when you have the baby. And usually I'm on call, and well, I prepare the mother and the partner for the birth, and then when the birth starts, they call me, and then I go to the hospital, or if they have a home birth, to their home, and then I'm there the whole time until the baby comes. Like I told Aaron when we started, it can be 1 hour or 30 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm there the whole time, and then yeah, and then I kind of have studied a lot of things having to do with childbirth and how to make it easier, more painless, and like relaxing and things like that. And one thing I came across was this hypnobirthing, and it's a method that uses kind of relaxation techniques and self-hypnosis, that you teach the mother beforehand how to relax and kind of go into this hypnotic state. And then when she's giving birth, then she can go into this state, and it actually makes the birth more like easier and more painless. You need less pain medication, and it goes faster, and it is much easier and safer. So it's really a gentle way to birth your baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, if you have children, then it's definitely worth it. And it also is good for the dads, because hypnobirthing also, the coaching is also for the dads or the partners to be much more involved in the birth. When they are at the hospital, the dad knows what to do and how to be of support for the mother. So it's actually, the dads love it when they have been to the class. Like when they come, they are a little bit like, hypnobirth, I don't know, but when they get into it, then they are like really like, yeah. It's great.
Yeah, that is awesome, because it's something every guy could probably use a little assistance in that field.
Yeah.
So as far as the you help out with children who have suffered sex abuse, is that correct?
More like adults who have been abused in their childhood.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an experience expert, so that's like a person who has been through some kind of trauma, or it can also be like a physical illness or something that you had problems in your life, and you've kind of come through it, and then you go to this training, and then you become an experience expert in that subject, and then you can kind of consult on it with like other people who have gone through the same thing, or then consulting with professionals who help with those people and kind of telling your story to help other people. So that was something that I had a passion for, because I really want to tell my story, because I think it really will help a lot of people. So I wanted to do this training to kind of get into that. And I've done it a little bit. I just graduated last spring, so it's quite new for me. But I've done it a little bit. I've been to some lectures and some events, and it's been really good feedback. So I'm really pleased I can do it.
Yeah, and those are the people with the experience, these life experiences, are the ones who end up being the teachers or the therapist or whoever, you know, because how would you ever know how to give someone advice or help somebody through something unless you had been through it yourself?
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, in my life, I didn't get the help I needed. Like I really didn't get like any good help. So I am kind of an expert on how not to treat someone with these problems, or how not to help them because it didn't help. So I always tell my story that when I was a teenager, I started to be more and more depressed. And then I had a friend who called me one day and said that she had tried to kill herself. And then I was like, my first thought was, oh, I want to do this too. And then I was like, oh, I was like alarmed, like, why am I thinking this way? That like this is not normal. And I really like believe that this was the best thing for me, like to kill myself and be done with it. And well, but that got me to get search for help for myself. And then my small town where I'm from, it only had like 2 psychologists and 1 psychiatrist. And so I went to one psychologist and told her like about my life and things. And I didn't know, I have to tell you that I didn't know that I was abused as a child, like sexually abused. I didn't know it until I was 27 years old. So I had complete blackout, like complete dissociative disorder. I didn't know anything like that had happened to me. Like I knew I didn't have a happy childhood when I was growing up, but I didn't know anything about this. So
Wow.
of course I couldn't get the help for it because I didn't even know it existed. It had happened. So it was kind of difficult situation. But then yeah, I went to the also to the psychiatrist, and he was kind of interviewing me about my symptoms and things, and then he just told me, yeah, you're just a little bit depressed and there's nothing wrong with you. And then they just kind of let me go, and that was that. But then I moved away from home. I started to study at university, and it was like horrible. I couldn't sleep at all, like for months I couldn't sleep at all. I was so anxious and so fearful, and I started actually to go into psychosis because of the sleep deprivation. Like if you don't sleep for many months, then you are going to get psychotic. That's just a fact. But I didn't tell anyone that I was having these symptoms, that I was seeing things, and I was like, it was horrible. And I was still going to classes at university and doing all the things to study. Like I didn't know how to take a break. Because I was just, this was my mode of survival. I just go forward. I just do the things I do, and I never stopped. Like if I would have stopped, then I would have like crashed down like really hard. But I just kept going. But then I went to another psychiatrist from the university, and they were only like interested in giving me some medications. And I always went there. Then I said, I need some kind of help. They said, well, do you want these pills? I said, no, I don't want any pills. I want like therapy or something, like talk to someone or something. Okay, we will see I'll make a new appointment in 2 weeks. Okay. Then I wait for 2 weeks. My symptoms get worse and worse. Then I go again. Then she again asked me, do you want these pills? I'm like, no, I don't want any pills. I want something else. Okay, I'll make a new appointment. And then this just continued and continued and continued until I gave in and took the pills. And it was this depression medication. And okay, I took the pills for some time. They didn't really help. They didn't do much. Like they just numb you down. Like it didn't help me at all. And so then at some point I just said, well, I'm going to quit these pills because they are not helping me. But then the doctor told me, you can just quit them like this, like cold turkey. And it was like the most horrific thing ever. Like I got such withdrawal symptoms. It was like I was withdrawing from heroin addiction. It was so horrible. It was like, I was shaking and sweating and I couldn't sleep again at all for 2 weeks. And it was just horrible. And then I went to the doctor again and she told me, no, this cannot be because of the pills. They are not addictive. And I was like, yeah, oh my God, like she's just like lying to my face and she's not believing me. And she wanted to give me more pills for the insomnia, like take some sleep medication. And I was like, no. And then I had to start the medication again because the symptoms was so bad. And then I actually weaned myself off them like gradually. And then I got some acupuncture to go along with it, so I could wean myself off the pills. But then actually when I met my husband, I was like 26 or 27 or something. At that time, after I met him, because this is the thing, I had been in really like bad relationships. Like I was treated like crap and they were not like really good relationships. And then I kind of got this idea that I'm now ready for something better. And I told the universe, hello universe, I am now ready to meet a really nice man, please. And then after 2 weeks, I met my husband. And when I met him the first time, I knew this is the person that I could spend the rest of my life with. And I was so scared that I was just telling him after our first like meeting, I told him, don't call me again. Like, don't call me again. Like, no. Because I was horrified because I actually knew that this is the person, like he could actually be the one. And I was so scared. But then after a few days, I was like, okay, maybe you can call me again. Like, okay. And then he did, and then we started dating.
And then you rejected him 4 times when he asked you to marry him.
Yeah. Yeah. But then we went out for like 3 months or something. And I started to feel like worse and worse and worse. And then I had a dream. And in the dream, I was packing my bags to go somewhere on a trip. And I was going to go to a foreign country and stay with the family. And when I was there, I knew that in the night, the father of the family will come into the room and do something to me. And then I woke up from the nightmare and I was like, I was shaking, I was horrified. And then I knew like, this is not a dream, like this has actually happened. And I was completely blank. I didn't know who this man was, which country this was, where it happened, when it happened, but I knew this has happened. And so imagine my horror on that day when I woke up and I realized this. And so I was completely in shock. And then I started to have all these symptoms and having these flashbacks and having these fears and all these feelings coming up. But it was really a mystery to me for a long time that who is this man and where has this happened. And I tried to kind of do some detective work, like finding out about my childhood, like where have I been, like who has taken care of me, and how they looked and things like that. Because I had one clue, only one clue. It was mustache, because I hate men who have mustaches. Like not like you, Tyler, because you have a beard. If you have a beard and mustache, that's okay for me. But if you only have a mustache, then that's like something that I almost throw up when I see it. And it was like a reaction for me, like a bodily reaction, men with a mustache. So I knew that this person has to have a mustache. And this was the only clue I had. So I was kind of going over my childhood with my mom and just asking her, like, which men did have mustaches, like, do you remember? And we just went over everything, and still I didn't find out who it was, and it was kind of bugging me. And then there were some people who tried to help, like people, like one was that I called like a rape hotline or something, and try to explain my feelings and my fears and things to this person. And she also told me, like don't worry, nothing's happened to you, like stop thinking about it, like there's nothing wrong with you. And yeah, this was the kind of reception that I got. But then somehow my mind kind of worked things out, and I got a little bit more clear, and then one day it just clicked, and I knew exactly who it was and where it was, and I knew that because when I was a child we lived in another country twice, and then we always came back to Finland and went back again, and I had been at school in this other country, and I had some friends in my class. And then one summer I went there during the summer holidays to this other country, to this friend from school, and stayed with her family for 2 weeks. And then I remembered, okay, this is the 2 weeks that this is where it happened. And it was her father who was the guy that molested me. And so but I had completely blacked that out. I didn't even remember that I went there. And then I started to compare like memories with my mom, because the family also came to our summer cottage for a month after that. And we compared memories, like my mom could tell me what happened, like when that he was there and something happened and like this. And then I said, yeah, I have this memory of this same thing, but I don't have this person in my memory. Like I have like removed this person from my memories, like completely.
Wow.
So that is the way that the mind works when you have some trauma that is so bad that you just erase it completely. And so it was really interesting process. And then I went to the police. I actually went to the police and told them about this, and I was kind of expecting the local police here that they would be in contact with the police in that country and kind of move forward from there and things like that. But instead, what the police did, they told me, you are just crazy, like you are just imagining things, and you just had a bad dream, and nothing happened to you, like don't be crazy, like. And so this was the moment for me that kind of my world view was kind of shattered to pieces, because uh, it was unbelievable to me how I was treated. Yeah. And so it took me a long time to kind of get over that, because I lost all trust, because of course I already had no trust in people, but there and then I lost all trust in everything, like the society in whole. I just lost all of my trust, and it was really bad and really hard to get it back, like to any kind of level. And so yeah, but I don't know how I got the idea or the strength, but what I then did afterwards, I thought, okay, the local police aren't going to do anything, so I'm just going to contact the police in this country that the crime happened. So I just wrote them a letter and sent it there, and then afterwards I called them and asked them, like, did you get my letter and things like that. And it was really nice, it was really healing for me, because there was a male police officer who picked up the phone when I called. And actually, when I asked him about the letter, he said, yeah, of course I remember this letter, how can I forget this letter, like this was so touching to read this letter. And so they took me really seriously and they investigated. And but unfortunately the crime, it was already like how do you say, like the time limit was off, was already gone, like to prosecute.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so
because it was so long ago. So but yeah, but I got the healing experience of being respected and listened and believed. So it was really important to me to do that, and so I could kind of move on from that. But
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, so you were talking earlier about the the antidepressants they were trying to put you on, and we all know that all that stuff is addictive. You know, we know the
Yeah.
whole big pharma scam. We don't have to go into it, but so you said you were a holistic healer. So was it that? Where was the turning point? Like, what drove you to look into the holistic healing aspect?
Yeah, it was kind of my own experiences, because I didn't get any help from the medical establishment. Like I got the pills, they made me like I was addicted to heroin, so it was no good. And I eventually got some therapy as well. I went to therapy. I went there for 8 years and I never felt any like change from it. So I can say that in my case it didn't work. The therapist was nice, and yeah, I could talk to her, but it was like I had such deep issues with trust. So in these 8 years I never trusted her. So she actually couldn't help me.
So
So
what what practices do you use now, as far as something that that you might be able to tell other people that they might be able to take from this?
yeah, I've used a lot actually on myself. I've tried almost everything, but when you have trauma like this, it's stored in your body. Your body remembers, even if my mind didn't remember so much, but my body had all the trauma and the feelings inside. So it was really important to kind of get it out of the body somehow. So I did this thing called Rosen therapy. It's like this how could I say, a little bit like massage, but not so intense. It just manipulates a little bit your like body, and then gets rid of it kind of releases the memories that you have in your body, and it can release some feelings also. And that's one thing that I found very effective. Then of course I used homeopathy. It's used holistically, so it kind of treats you as a whole person. So it treats your physical symptoms and your mental things and emotional things. So that's one thing that I used a lot. And also it's really important to have the right kind of diet and the vitamins, the omega-3 fatty acids, things like that, because for instance, you have to have enough vitamin B in your body, because the B vitamins help you deal with stress. And if you are not sleeping at all or having PTSD, so you are actually in such stress all the time. So it's really important. And I used for the insomnia, I actually used some homeopathy, and then I used some herbal remedies to get little bit of sleep or little bit relaxed.
Sure.
And so that was good for me. And yeah. Then later on, I have learned about hypnosis, and I'm actually right now studying to be a hypnotherapist.
Oh,
And
cool.
this has been like really interesting, because I now understand that it's not, if I have to go like 8 years to some therapist and just talk about things, it doesn't change things inside my mind. It just doesn't, because the trauma is on another level. It's all of my childhood things, like the beliefs I have about myself, they are in my subconscious, and I cannot access them by just talking about it. And mostly if people are really traumatized and they are kind of forced to talk about it again and again, it just amplifies the trauma. It actually makes it worse. So it's actually not good talking about it.
Yeah.
And so for me, the hypnosis and hypnotherapy has been really effective in kind of releasing some of those negative beliefs about myself and about my life. And so it's been really good, and I'm looking forward to helping other people with it, because you don't need to go to hypnotherapy for years. You just need like a couple of sessions and you're like much better off. So it's really more effective, I think.
Yeah, well, people, it takes place on an energetic level, and that's where people miss it. You know, actually, if you want to vent about something or talk about your problems, what you're actually doing is feeding that problem, like you said, over time, because you're keeping it alive by talking about it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
You're keeping it alive. So every time you talk about it, you're feeding the negative aspect of that problem, and it affects your life. So
Yeah.
you're just in a constant.
You're feeding it energy instead of releasing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's an energetic healing that has to take place, which mainstream therapists and doctors,
it's completely outside of their
it's outside their realm. They just miss
paradigm completely.
Yeah.
So that's why it's amazing that you're going into this, because that's how we heal. And there's a lot of suppressed emotions and stuff that will be released with that hypnotherapy, hypnosis, and that's where the true healing begins, honestly.
Yeah, and one thing I got, I was reading a lot about sexual abuse and things like that, and how to heal it. And there was some good advice in some books that I read. And one thing that was really helpful for me was that one book said that you don't actually have to remember what happened. You don't have to recover the memories to be able to heal from them. That you only need to deal with the feelings. You have to go through the feelings that you have regarding the trauma. And when you have like released the feelings, then it's okay. You don't have to remember. And I still don't remember everything. Like I have some flashes and things like that, but I don't really remember the whole 2 weeks that I was there.
Sure.
So, and I can say I'm healed from it. I don't suffer from it anymore. So I really can attest to that it's actually true. You don't have to remember.
Well, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I guess we're going to start wrapping this up. But before, I have a question / favor. So right now, my dogs are outside the room, scratching at the door, trying to get in. As was curious if you would be able to tap into one of my dogs and give me a quick little reading on the air, if it's okay with you. Or if that's not something you're comfortable with, we do not have to do it.
Well, I can try. It might take a little bit of time, so I don't know how much time we have on the show, because I have to be quiet for a while when I do it. But
okay, well, we don't have to. I don't want to put you on the spot like that. I was just curious.
Yeah. But I can definitely do a reading like afterwards.
I thought maybe you just like tap in and, you know, like, yo, your dog's pissed at you right now. No, it's okay. I just was curious. I was just curious if it was, I wasn't sure how it worked. But I will be in touch with you.
Yeah, okay. I have to let my dog out of the room. He actually wants to get out of here, so just a moment.
My dogs went in, her dogs went out. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was crying at the door because he came in with me, and now he wants to go to sleep, so he wanted out.
It's interesting. You said like your pet is like a mirror image of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you got up to go let your dog out of the room, the picture of your dog was right behind
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just like took your place. Like that's
perfect.
Yeah. That's a picture of Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now I have a different dog. It's actually a Labrador Golden Retriever mix, and he's kind of a perfect dog. Like I got a perfect dog. Like he came to us when he was 3 years old, and he was just perfect. Like I don't even know why the people wanted to give him up, because he was so perfect. And I think this is some kind of, like, Charlie made this happen for me, that this was kind of a present for me, because I was had such difficulties with him, and now I get this reward in this perfect dog. So it's really nice.
Very cool. Yeah, that was arranged. I believe that was arranged.
Yeah.
Things happen. Like you said, there's no accidents or coincidence. You know, everything's intervention, as you said, or however you want to term it. No, that's so cool. Yeah, and that's that's your reward, I guess, for doing. And you basically cracked, solved the puzzle. It was a mystery.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. Is there any last things that you want to leave us with before we wrap things up?
Can't think of anything right now, so I guess not. Yeah.
So how about, okay, so if somebody wanted to communicate with their own pet, is this something everyone can do?
Yeah, everyone can do it. It's something that's innate to us, like we are born with it, every one of us. And we are just, because society doesn't recognize it as a skill that you should like practice, then we kind of lose it after we go to school and become adults. So it's kind of like children do it naturally, and people who are like animal lovers who have pets, they actually do communicate all the time with their animals, but they are just not aware of it. So because their animals pick up what they are thinking, and they pick up what their animals are thinking, just like without thinking about it. But yeah, it's just like learning a new language, that you just have to wire your brain kind of a little bit differently, and kind of practice a little bit, so that your brain gets accustomed to it, to kind of the new language and how it works. But yeah, everyone can learn it, so it's nothing special. There's nothing special about me to be an animal communicator.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that remote viewers say, and psychics and everybody, which is true. We all have the ability, but I definitely believe certain people are led down that path, and it becomes more natural.
Certain people are more naturally tapped into certain abilities.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone can learn how to tap in. It's just some people it comes more naturally.
Yeah, it's definitely it definitely takes a lot more work for some people to do. I now, as far as like my dogs, I can like they have like 10 different looks. I know which look. I know what they want with every look. I know if they want water, if they want to go for a walk, if they want to go outside, whatever it might be, or if they're hungry. Sometimes I know
what do they want right now.
Yeah. I know the look. They just want a treat, and that's it. I'm like, no, I'm not falling for that one.
And now there's like, you're taking too long.
Yes, exactly.
Give me love, attention.
So I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Do you want to tell us how we can communicate, how people can get a hold of you if for a reading or a session?
Yeah. So you have my website under the description, and you can contact me on my website or on Facebook or with email. It's anna.multanen@gmail.com. So you can book a reading for your pet, and it doesn't matter where you live. I can do it with just a picture of the animal, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Like I said, I'll be reaching out to you. Thank you so much for coming on. Your story is amazing. You really went through a lot, but I think it was all for the best. Honestly, look at you now. You're here helping. You've turned around, and now you're helping people. So, congratulations, and we're proud of you definitely for all that.
Thank you.
Definitely excited about reading the book too. So. Thank you for coming on all the way from Finland. I'm so glad you reached.
At 2 a.m. or whatever time it is. Seriously.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It has been such an honor. I really love your podcast. I'm listening to it all the time when I'm walking my dog.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome.
Thank you. Well, we're honored that you reached out to us. And so sorry it took so long to get you on, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
No, it was perfect timing because the book just came out, so it was really perfect.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, obviously Facebook, Twitter. Check it all out. Don't forget to head over to omniaradiationbalancer.com, or actually, better yet, click the link below.
Yeah, and don't head to.
Don't go to the website. Click the link below. Check out the patches. Get some patches. Put them on your phones, your Wi-Fi router, your smart meter, anything that's emanating radio waves, microwaves, essentially. So check it out. You'll be helping yourself out and us. So anyway, good night, and thank you for listening.
Good night.
Night.